说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello there, newbies. This is Chinese Pod, and I'm Ken Carroll.
Hi, I'm Jenny.
And we're talking about teachers today.
Knowing your teacher.
Indeed, knowing your teacher. You may have a Chinese teacher, or you may refer to Miss Zhu here as your
Mr.
teacher.
Carol.
I'm not a really teacher. Well, I'm an English teacher, but anyway. And so, how do you say this word?
Teacher. 老师. 老师.
老师. Tones there are
Third and first.
third and first. Okay, now, so we have a very short, very simple, and I hope very useful dialogue for you. We're going to listen to it 3 times. We're going to break it apart, and I think there's a very, very interesting linguistic aspect to this lesson that I'd like to draw attention to, because I think it's fascinating, and I hope the listeners do too. So let's listen first, then we'll translate it, and then we'll gradually explore it.
Dialogue first time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道。
Second time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道。
Third time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道。
Okay, let's translate.
你认识朱老师吗？
Do you know Teacher Zhu?
你认识朱老师吗？
Do you know Teacher Zhu?
你认识朱老师吗？认识，
Yes, I do know her.
认识，
Yes.
认识。你知道她在哪里吗？
Do you know where she is?
你知道她在哪里吗？
Do you know where she is?
你知道她在哪里吗？不知道，
I don't know.
不知道，
I don't know.
不知道。
Okay, now I guess this could be on campus or night school or any one of many places.
Yes, and incidentally, my surname is 朱。
There you go.
我是朱老师。
朱老师.
对，
Yeah. So we said the word for teacher is,
老师，老师，
and in this case, the teacher's name was.
朱老师。
Now, Zhu is a family name. It's a surname,
A
first
quite
home.
popular surname in
It's a
China.
common surname, indeed.
对的。
朱老师. And it sounds uncommonly like
It sounds exactly like
the word for
pigs.
pigs, which is also pronounced.
猪，
Same tone, same syllable.
对的。
And the resemblance obviously ends there. So, 朱老师 means teacher Zhu.
Yeah.
Did you get ribbed over that when you were in school? Did people called Zhu
kindergarten,
in
yeah.
kindergarten, yeah.
So I begged my mother, can I have your surname?
Not much you can do about that, I'm afraid. Okay, now, we formed a question here. I'm going to look at this a little bit later in a lot more depth, but let's see how we formed that question. So once again, the question was, do you know Teacher Zhu?
你认识朱老师吗？你认识朱老师吗？
Now, you can see at the end you have a question mark, right? Because you have the word.
吗？吗？
So it's 朱老师吗?
对，
So there's a question about 朱老师. Now, the pronoun we had was you, and that is?
你，你
And of course, we need a verb here. So the verb was?
认识，认识，
认识.
对。
Now, tell us the tones on that, just so we get the sound first.
Fourth and neutral.
Fourth and neutral. So let's hear it again.
认识，认识，
认识.
对，
Now, the verb 认识 means
To know.
To know, in the sense of to be familiar with,
Both, actually.
right? Both. Yeah, okay.
To know or to know about.
To know about a person.
Or ever heard of a person.
Okay, but it wouldn't refer to knowledge, right? Do you know this information, right?
No.
Okay, so 认识 means to be familiar with in that sense, to know a person, to be
对，
familiar
对。
with a person. Yeah.
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
So let's hear that sentence again.
你认识朱老师吗？你认识朱老师吗？
Yeah. All right. Now, the verb there is used, it's very common in Chinese to use the same verb in your answer. And so the answer came,
认识，认识。
meaning yes, I know. And notice that there's no pronoun again,
对
right? And
It's the
doesn't
verb alone.
It's the
in
verb
itself.
alone, doesn't inflect, doesn't change. 认识. So, 你认识吗？认识.
认识.
Just
对
how efficient can you get?
Yeah.
Now, here's another interesting question. Let's hear this one.
你知道他在哪里吗？你知道他在哪里吗
Now, 你知道 meaning you know.
You know.
So the verb to know is.
知道
Now, this is know in the sense of to have information, knowledge sense.
Yes.
Do you know this?
Exactly.
So the first verb was,
认识
and that means, are you familiar? I think in French it would be connaître, would be the equivalent,
and
right? It
also
would be
yeah 认识 is used on people.
on people. To be
Sorry,
familiar
to be
with,
familiar with
another
people.
person.
Yeah, with another person.
Whereas 知道 is to know in the sense of knowledge, to
Yeah.
have information.
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at the question there, the second question again. So, do you know where she is?
你知道他在哪里吗？你知道他在哪里吗？
So, 你知道, you know. The pronoun for her or she is.
他
And then the question where is formed by saying.
在哪里吗？在哪里吗？
So, 在哪里 is just means where.
对
Okay, so you've got the question. Now, so what this shows is the difference between 认识 and 知道.
知道对
Okay. Now, and the answer came,
不知道，不知道。
great. 不知道 meaning
No, I don't know.
I don't know. So the verb to know is,
知道，
and the negative form is,
不知道。
good. Let's listen to this 3 more times, and then we'll take a look at something that I think is quite interesting.
Dialogue first time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道，
Second time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道，
Third time.
你认识朱老师吗？
认识，
你知道他在哪里吗？
不知道。
All right, now here's something that is really interesting in Chinese. The difference between Chinese and English. One difference. So in linguistics, we call phrase structure, right? That phrase structures in English, there are phrase structure rules. English, the word orders can change.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where is it? All right, there's a question.
Yeah.
Where is it? Now, in what's known as an embedded question in English, you might say something like, do you know where it is? All right? Sounds like a very small change, but actually it's a massive from a sort of linguistic perspective. It's a huge change, right? So that's there's a phrase structure rule
Yeah.
to describe how and when the order of words change in English, right? But words don't change in the order in Chinese. So
No, they don't.
I don't know if they're are phrase structure rules in Chinese. I imagine there might be, but in this sense, they don't change. So let's look at the phrase, you know Teacher Zhu. How would you say that?
你认识朱老师？
Great.
你认识朱老师？
Great. Now, when you want to form a question, you say,
你认识朱老师吗？
yeah.
你认识朱老师吗？
Again, so the
It's
word
exactly
order
the
is
same.
exactly
You
the
just
same.
add the question
Yeah.
particle.
And in the other question, let's say you said, you know where she is, you'd say.
你知道他在哪里？你知道他在哪里？
Great. You know where she is. Now, the question then would be,
你知道他在哪里吗？你知道他在哪里吗？
okay, so the tone of voice is a little bit different, but
Yes.
you can the structure also. Now, think of it in English, you'd say, where is she? But if you with phrase structure, if you say, do you know where she is? So there'd be a change. Anyway, that's just a little linguistics thing. I love this stuff. I think it's
know you do.
really interesting. So yeah, so word order for when you form questions in Chinese, the word order doesn't change.
Quite convenient
That is
for learning.
very
Yeah.
convenient. Okay, now, if you go to ChinesePod.com, of course, you can explore all of these things in great more depth. And again, you can do that on your own terms. You can find the things that work for you. You can discover, play around. And I think that's vitally important. You know, the longer I do this, the more I realize that learning is subjective and everybody's different. And it's best to find your own way. We're here to help you. We're here to support you. Amber is here and Connie and everybody. We obviously try to embed what we learn from the community into the lessons. So it's not as if we say, look, you're just on your own. That's absolutely not the case because learning is social anyway. But I do think it's important to make some of the key decisions for yourself as a learner. So get in there, go to ChinesePod.com, explore it, have a good time, and let us know how you feel. And we'll be back again tomorrow with another lesson.
So until next time, 再见。
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
0644.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0644 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0644.